When I was 21, I broke my arm and a doctor set it in a plaster cast. Well, a few hours later, it was clear that the cast had been set too tight. My arm was turning blue. I was crying with pain. A nurse rang the doctor who said, she can wait until tomorrow. Well, I kept crying and that nurse said, bugger it. And next thing, she appeared with a huge pair of secateurs and freed me from that plaster cast. I loved her guts for doing that.
17 years ago, you helped me bring my baby safely into the world.
And 17 years ago, you helped me as Susan brought our baby healthily into the world.
When I cried because I was scared of getting a needle, you didn't make fun of me. And you could have. I was 36.
When I went into shock after surgery, you wrapped me up in a tinfoil blanket and called me a baked potato.
When I was 19 and spent a couple of months in hospital after a car accident, you kept me sane, healthy, and bathed, and most importantly, unconstipated.
Last year, my friend was in hospital. She was very sick, but you made her feel really calm and reassured her every step of the way.
You were there every day with my grandma for the last 3 years of her life. You made her feel safe. You made her feel comfortable. You had a lot of great, funny, heated, spirited debates with her. And then when she did pass away, you were there at the funeral.
4 years ago, you took me into accident and emergency, held my hand and reassured me that my little girl was going to be okay after she'd broken her arm on the trampoline.
When my father-in-law was dying recently from coronavirus in hospital, it was you who broke down the barriers so that he could die with dignity, peacefully, and in the arms of his loved ones.
I remember when I was in my early 20s, I'd had an operation and I was in recovery, and you held my hand. It made me feel good. Then I think you went through my wallet. I'm not sure whether you took 50, maybe 100.
Last year when my son had to have an operation and was scared and being wheeled through the hospital on a trolley, you made him laugh. You were the goofy nurse and I could have married you at that point.
I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis about 2 years ago now, but the team of nurses that were around me were so helpful and so kind and so thoughtful.
My mother eventually went into aged care. The kindness that you guys showed to my mom and me during such a stressful time, I'll never be able to repay you.
Last year, right before I gave birth to my son, they couldn't get the epidural in and I was really scared. And you held my hand and you told me everything was going to be okay.
When you started training to be a nurse, I was so proud.
When I was in hospital having tubes put down my throat, you were so reassuring and gentle and kind and did everything you could to help me feel less discomfort and less pain.
22 years ago, my dad had a massive heart attack and was rushed to ICU. And when we had to turn off his life support, the humanity you nurses showed us, to our family, I'll never forget.
About 12 years ago, I had 2 penis operations, not elective, and you guys changed the catheter of a pretty frightened Pekka many times.
When my mum went into aged care home, you were there with a smile. You made my mum a cup of tea, you sat down with her, and you took great care of her.
Many years ago, my mother went to hospital. She was pregnant, and the nurses there helped bring me into the world. So on behalf of the world, I would just like to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I say thank you.
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 God, thank you.
Thank you.